Do you remember when you first discovered glitches in Pokemon? I remember when I did. Summer 1999 at Kingswood Summer Club. Pokemon Red and Blue had been released the previous year, which I guess would make me 8 or 9. The Pokemon craze was in full swing over here in the UK. Every day I packed up my Pikachu Yellow Game Boy Color, Pokemon Red permanently slotted into the top. My friends and I would gather together with our link cables for epic trading and battling sessions that lasted the whole day. Or just until parents came to pick us up at home time. Around midsummer, our group was starting to feel like we'd seen it all and done it all. Sure, I don't think we'd ever caught 'em all. Back then, it seemed like an impossibility. We had grinded to level 100, eliminated the Elite Four more times than we could remember. The game was starting to lose its draw. And there was still 4 long weeks of summer left. Then, we saw a missing number. I remember the first kid I knew to have him. He told us his brother showed him how to catch this super rare, super awesome Pokemon. We gathered around as he revealed that Pokemon to us, that magical, distorted, reverse L shape that held the key to infinite rare candies. We were all instantly in love and dying to get one of these rare Pokemon for ourselves, so he passed on the secret and showed us how. Within the next few days, our little group was hooked on glitches. We scoured the magazines for the latest bugs and tricks. We visited Glitch City, battled all kinds of high-level Pokemon off the coast of Cinnabar. We even caught Mew. But there was one glitch, which I've never been able to find record of since. Funnily enough, I can't remember the details of how to pull it off, but I remember the outcome. Glitchlet. The technique for finding this little guy followed the pattern of a lot of the tedious Pokemon encounter bugs in Red and Blue. Talk to this dude, fly to this space. It might have had something to do with Celadon. I'm not sure, really. Glitchlet was just as you'd expect, a glitched-up Diglett. The sprite was mostly intact, but the face was distorted, missing number style. And there was a few distorted lines through it, like scant lines. And the cry was a little weird too, although I can't put my finger on what it was. His level was never visible, but we guessed it must have been over 100, as we could hardly put a mark on him when trying to catch him. Most of us resorted to one of our many clone Master Balls. We named him Glitchlet. And that night we were eagerly trying out what this guy could do. The next day we all met up to compare results. By this point we all considered ourselves Pokemon glitch experts. Experiences with Glitchlet were varied. One guy claimed it messed up his game so bad he couldn't play anymore and had to reset. The others said they tried to battle with Glitchlet only to find the game crashed every time they tried. I had the most luck in battles with the new glitch Pokemon. His only move was Dig, and he couldn't learn any HMs or TMs, even those you'd expect a Diglett to be able to learn. Against wild Pokemon, Glitchlet was a powerhouse. He never lost power points, and together we one-hit KO'd every Pokemon we came across. But the attack itself was odd. It took 2 turns as usual, but after the first turn, he'd be hit with some kind of self-damaging recoil, and there was no explanation other than Diglett was hurt, and that strange cry. But it never made much of a mark on him. Glitchlet's HP was higher than anything I'd ever seen. And because it only took 1 dig to destroy any wild Pokemon, it was never much of a problem. I laid waste to my friends' teams during linked battles, and he soloed the Elite Four. I remember when things got even stranger. I was leveling a team using the EXP all. Destroying wild Pokemon with Glitchlet seemed the obvious choice. I'd maxed out many Pokemon this way in the past. I'd woken up early that morning to level especially, and had spent all day KOing wild Pokemon. At that moment, I was under my bed covers with my trusty Game Boy Color light. Mom would go mad if she knew I wasn't asleep at this time. Everything was going according to plan, and my new team was leveling up beautifully. I must have been concentrating pretty hard, because it was too late when I noticed how low Glitchlet's health had become. I selected Dig for the final time and watched him began to descend into the ground. As expected, I received the message Diglett was hurt. I heard that piercing cry, louder than before, and my stomach turned as I watched his health bar slide towards 0. The bar doubled back on itself, which seemed to empty 4 or 5 times before Glitchlet repeated his dying cry. Now a horrible noise. Diglett was killed. Do you want to use the next Pokemon? I know it's cliche in these kinds of stories, but I remembered that vividly, and I selected no. My other team members wouldn't have made a mark on this enemy Pokemon anyway. I was warped to the overworld and found myself back in the unknown dungeon. Opening my Pokemon menu confirmed what I'd seen before. My beloved Glitchlet at the top of the party, health reduced 0. I selected him. I'm not sure what good I thought it might have done, and noticed that something was different. Maybe it was there before, but I think I would have remembered, or have noticed, that Dig was now selectable outside of battle. I thought for a moment, maybe it was the atmosphere, but this move was suddenly chilling me. Glitchlet had never been damaged by any wild Pokemon, only by this move. It wasn't as though he's hurt himself in confusion or with recoil. Whatever had hurt and ultimately killed him had been going underground all along, waiting, sapping Glitchlet's life each time I sent him to attack. His death cry echoed in my ears as I realized what I'd done. My thumb hovered over the A button, my brain willing myself to dig and get out of the cave, but my stomach felt sick. What was down there anyway?